One of my friends has just given me this Makita hedge trimmer. It's quite an old one, but it's still going strong. Makita Corporation, PTR2500, and apparently this little priming bubble here is leaking. I think it's got a crack in it or something like that. So anyway, wanted me to replace that because it was leaking, and potentially would be letting the petrol drip on the lawns or on the hedges, and potentially burning them and making them go brown and dead. So we'll try and replace that. But it's the first time I've done this, but I'm going to do it just to make it more comfortable for myself. So I'm going to take off the petrol tank. So it just means a couple of screws here. Put this up a little bit higher. Just a couple of screws here. Take off that bracket there. And then there's four screws holding the pull starter in position. So I'm just going to take those four out, and hopefully then they should all just pull off, and that should then release the petrol tank. Now just taking the four screws out of here, just going to just pull that back gently without breaking all this plastic work around here. Hopefully that should now come out. As I say, it doesn't, so must be something else holding it in. There we are. So I just pulled this back slightly, and I just managed to pull that out. It was a little bit tight because it's been in there such a long time, and so I'm just going to put that to one side for a second. Then we can hopefully get at this little bubble here. I just noticed something there. We don't want to get. There's a little bit of conifer. We just don't want to get that little bit of conifer in the starter mechanism. So we just keep that out of the way. Put that back there. Keep it nice and tidy while we're working. That's it. Just pop that back on there. So what we're going to do now is, as I say, we're just going to put the tank out of the way, and we're going to take out this little bubble there. Hopefully you can see the little bubble, which is the priming bubble. So we're just going to release those four screws, and then I've got another bubble which I've salvaged from another hedge trimmer. So hopefully that will fit into there. Just need to try and clean this up a little bit. I don't have the like a compressor or anything to blow the dust or do it away, but if you've got a little brush or something just to clean that round so you don't get any muck into the fuel system and into the carburetor, that would be good. Hopefully I won't need to take off the air filter or air filter assembly, so I don't think I will. So watch this space. Use an old paintbrush just to clean up all the nasty little bits around that primer bubble. Let's get rid of most of it. I think that should be okay. Nasty bit there, dangling there, that's what that's all about, but that'll probably come out when we change the bubble. So, here we go. We managed to get the four little screws out using this little small flat head screwdriver, but you can probably use a small Phillips or whatever, or posi drive, whichever one fits best, to take those out. Just didn't happen to have one with me, but this one seems to have worked fine. Just taking out four screws, quite long screws actually, so that should allow me just to lift that bubble assembly off, and then it's funny, it doesn't actually look that cracked, but we'll soon find out. So that's the underside, that's the top side. So that's it. Yep, you can see it now. See what the problem is. You can see that there. You may not see it very well on the camera, but there's a split there. If I just put you just see that opening up there, little cut. That was what was letting the fuel escape. So we'll just put a new. You can get these actually online. I'll try and put a link. There's a nice little company. Don't know how little they are, but they might be a big, huge company. But in Rotherwas and Herefordshire. And they produce lots of things like this, clever things which go on your strimmers and hedge trimmers and the engines wise. So you can get one from them, but I've salvaged one from one of my old Kawasaki trimmers I no longer use. so hopefully they should all be, hoping that'll be interchangeable. If not, back to where it was. Hurrah! When putting the pull pull thing back on, unfortunately it came out of this this plastic, so it's become a bit of a fiddle to get it back. So what I've decided to do now is to take the third screw, or fifth screw in fact. So there's 4 on the engine, sorry, on the pull cord thing, starter thing, and there's 1 just on the other side of the engine cover there. So I've taken that one out now, and hopefully that should come off with, if I just disconnect the spark plug lead. Jiggling, that's come off. I took the spark plug lead cover off, and with a bit of jiggling this came out. I was getting caught a little bit on the exhaust pipe down there, so just took it out slightly there and it came over that, no problem. The frustrating bit of trying to get this mechanism to go into there, and I can't remember quite how I used to do that in the good old days, but hopefully it will go back in. So just going to push that on, and then hopefully we can clamp in the petrol tank at the same time. So hopefully that bit there will clamp in the petrol tank, and that should fit into that mechanism there. Then as the pull cord gets pulled, it should work. So see, doesn't seem to want to go up there very well. Just going to turn this over again, because I think I might have put the petrol tank in the wrong position slightly, so I'm just going to turn it back over again. I've just turned this over, and I've just put the 2 prongs, there's 2 little bits here, sticky uppy bits of plastic, which go into these 2 bits of rubber here, which softens the vibration, so that go into there. There we are. Then you have to use a reasonable amount of force just to push it down onto these 2. There's 2 rubber bungs there which hold the top of it. Hopefully that will be down tight enough now for me to get the this pull starter assembly on. So looking closer, that's it. Feels as if that's gone on correctly now. That looks as if that should work. So I'm just going to put a couple of screws in there just to hold that assembly on and hold the water tank, the petrol tank on as well. So I've just pulled the starter handle. I've just put a couple of screws in there temporarily, tighten them up fully. Just pull that starter thing. It seems to be, looks like, oops, sorry, jiggling the camera, but it looks like that's going to work. So put the other 2 screws in, then I'll put the plate back on just to hold that on there, and then we'll just be ready to put the top cover on and reattach the spark plug lead. In all my excitement filming this, I missed the Spitfire which has just flown over there, so oops. Yeah, and I've also realised that I've just put these 2 screws in the top here of this pull cord assembly too early, because they need to hold this top cover on. I put the top cover on fairly easily, went over the spark plug and carefully over the wire that goes to the spark plug, and that's also fitted together quite well, but just needs to go down a bit further to go over the exhaust pipe, and then I'll put those screws back in again. There we are. Yeah, it's all back on again now. I've taken the screws back out, put them back in again, holding, so it's now holding the turquoise bit on the outer side of this. So it goes over there, it all fits together. Use the right size screws in the right places. That's spark plugs all fitted back on again, and don't forget the screw at the front there, which we took out. So that's got to go back. So that's all nice and tight. So should be ready for action. Hurrah! We hope so anyway. It's important to show you the fails on this as well. So sometimes I show you the fails as well, because it's the only way you actually learn. Because you're not going to get these things absolutely spot on as an amateur day one. But it's always worth trying. And I'm sure there's plenty of people out there who will give you some advice and guidance if you get stuck. Result, at least that seems to work. Yay!